Today we're making pot roast, and this recipe is slightly modified or bastardized depending on how you want to look at it. But it comes from Hyla of Hyla Cooking and her wonderful book, Learn to Cook. And she also does YouTube videos and is funny and amazing, so buy the book and all that good junk. It's really good, actually. She's very funny. Her videos are very funny. But this is a pot roast. I altered it just a little bit. There's a few things that we changed as far as measurements go. So that's what we're doing, pot roast. Heat your oven to 325. I'm coming! Do you smell gas? Preheat your oven to 325, and then you gotta do a little browning of the meat and a little prep on the vegetables here. They're here, don't worry. So, for this recipe, we have 2 teaspoons of salt, 2 teaspoons of black pepper, freshly ground, don't be a heathen. We also have a bay leaf. We have 2 to 3 tablespoons of oil. It calls for vegetable, and we're using canola, which is technically vegetable. 4 cloves of garlic, as you can see here. But Tim, why are there 5? One was skinny, and I just felt like it looked lonely, so just don't worry about it. We have 4 potatoes. We opted for 2 potatoes and 2 potatoes. And 2 large onions is the recipe requirement, but we cut that down to 1. I don't know why I'm looking at that area, because no one's there. We cut that down to 1 because someone doesn't like onions so much.
And we're doing a smaller roast.
And we're doing a slightly smaller roast. We do have celery, ew, and then 2 large carrots. Obviously everything has been pre-washed, and so now we just need to cut it up. Okay, so we're going to start with chopping the vegetables. I like to center myself on camera and then chop while I talk to you. And these just need to be quartered. No, these need to be 2-inch pieces. Whatever, just chop the damn potatoes. These are small potatoes, so you can chop them into quarter-ish, and it should work just fine. You can quarter your quarter, and that's about 2 inches. I realize that I did that one differently. Okay, calm down, or you're not invited to eat dinner with us. So here's another one. This is a potato. And you're going to quarter that and quarter your quarter. Basically, the real thing you want is, I've always found, it's not so much, well, it is so much how big the size of the pieces you chop are, but it's also get them all consistent. Because if they're not all consistent, they won't all cook at the same time. And then you have hard pieces of potato, and that's gross. Tim, your technique is awful. Look. That's, I don't know what that is, but you know, just stop worrying about it. So we're gonna throw all this, I am anyway, just into a bowl for now. My bowl of holding. There are 2 schools of thought on these. You could peel them, or you could not. I think generally you would peel, because root vegetables can hold dirt and things. You don't want that on your plate. My bowl of holding out of the way. Peeling is one of the most unsexy things you can do on camera because it makes you jiggle. Just a little FYI. And then I guess kind of rewash it because peeling also releases
the crap.
The crapping carrot.
You missed a spot.
I don't care. I don't care. I don't think that's appropriate that you're showing that I missed a spot. Just film alone. Just film alone. It's fine.
But it's our.
It's our what?
It's our SoCal It's not your SoCal
This has nothing to do with SoCal anything. This is cook it your damn self.
Well, then why am I here?
I don't know. I guess I should have taken my own advice. So these you're going to want to chop into 2-inch pieces. Go ahead and take the ends off.
Just the tip.
Just the tip. What? What? Why are you all judging? Okay, so about 2-inch pieces. These are pretty thick, but 1-inch pieces? There you go. All right, so I look at you as if you, well, you did see that though, didn't you? It's very confusing. Anyway, 1-inch pieces. There are 1-inch pieces of carrot. And there's your carrot. Okay, so next we have celery. Ugh. Cup of celery. I know what you're saying. Tim, you're wasting food. Look, I'm not an advocate of food waste, but this is celery and it's disgusting. But fine. You want your damn celery? I'll make a snack for your wiener kid because you want some celery. And but Tim, my kids love celery. They have the ants on the log. I put the little stuff on it. You want ants on the log? Here. Here you go. Fire ants on a log. And you know what you can do with that? So next what we need to do is deal with the onion. So we have our large onion that I've already peeled and it's all clean. I'm actually going to do it into 1/8 because it's a really big onion and I want big chunks of onion. So take off the little hairy part. Oh, look, my knife's dirty. I'm professional. And then take off the little other butt part. I don't know. So next we have our wee bits of garlic. It calls for 4 cloves of garlic.
Chopped.
Minced.
Minced.
Chopped, whatever. Put the garlic on your cutting board, lay your knife flat, smack it really good, and then it should come right out. And if it breaks, that's okay because you're chopping it up anyway. So there you go. That will allow you to peel the garlic and your hands will smell great for days. And there's your little freed garlic.
Spread it over the roast in the pan.
Okay. We have our Dutch oven and we need to add our oil to the Dutch oven, which we'll do right now. And I, again, opted for a little more oil than a little less. I need to take this over to the stove and preheat it on the stove. This will be preheated on high because that's what the book said to do. And then what we're going to do is we're going to prep our meat. Look at that. Big old slab of meat. That is some good stuff. We have our meat here. So good. And now I need to wash my hands because I rubbed it. We usually eat like red meat once a week. I know it's like not good for you or whatever, but I love steak, so that's too bad. And steak makes me very happy. So you're gonna rub salt and pepper on the steak here. It's not a steak though, it's a roast. You know what I mean.
Technically it's a tri-tip roast.
What I am going to do is just throw them together and mix them because why wouldn't you? It's all going in the same place. So we're gonna rub this salt and pepper mixture into the meat so it gets all up in its bitterness and the grains and stuff. So we'll just sprinkle about half of it on there. And rub it in. You know, you don't really have to like rub. They call it rub. They call a lot of things like a rub. You don't really actually have to rub it, you can just pat it in. That's also acceptable if you're not comfortable rubbing your meat. Yeah, so I'll put a little on the sides too, because roasts are pretty three-dimensional. So you're actually going to be dealing more with like 4 sides instead of just the 2. I don't like how you're judging me.
I'm not judging you.
He's judging my
I'm not
rubbing.
judging you.
Eat me. I don't care. And I guess
Don't forget the tips.
Just the tips. That's for cleaning up what's left. And just use it all. With a piece of meat this big, don't be afraid to use like all the salt and pepper, because you're gonna need it, even though it's gonna be like roasting and braising and all that stuff. I don't know what that little piece of crap was. It's fine. Welcome to the stovetop. It is hot. So I'm gonna use this inadequate nubbin and or this more adequate and appropriate oven mitt thing, pot holder, to throw it in there. So now we're gonna flip it. Oh, hello. We're gonna keep flipping this, and this is gonna take about 15 to 20 minutes, depending on how big your roast is. Ours is under 3 pounds, so. Ooh, look at the nice browning on the meat. That's nice. I'm gonna try and get the sides here, because it's a big roast, I guess. Anyway, 15 to 20 minutes, and then we'll be right back. So, we are about to add the vegetables and the liquid, which in this case is a nice red wine. What I like to do is have them all in a bowl and just desegregate them all, because there's no sense in them all keeping in their own separate groups. Everything is better when you just mix it up and make sure it's all distributed. And plus that also helps with the cooking. You don't want like all potatoes on one side and all the onions and stuff on one side. It's going to make it like weird. We also need to measure out our wine, which in this case is going to be 1 cup. You can be a little generous with that, or you can not. We are totally ready to do this. So let's go to the stove and do this. Oh, and don't be afraid of that. That's how brown it's supposed to be. You want it really well brown, because believe me, in the middle, that's pink as pink can be, if not bloody and red. So we're going to take our vegetables and distribute them as around as we can. I guess really you can just dump them in. And then you want to add your liquid. And I'm a spiller, and that's why I got a little extra. Now I hate wine that's red, but in beef dishes it really does do something special. So we're going to put this under cover. Get in there, onion. The oven. Post haste. The action's down here. The action's down here. Go. Go to the oven. Ooh. And in about 2 hours, something delicious will be behind that glare. Hopefully. We'll see you then. As you can see, our pot roast is done. Well, you can't see it yet, but it's done. Let's take the lid off. There we are. And it looks very good. It smells very good. It's all browned and in there. Of course, you gotta let this sit for 20 minutes before you can really dig into it. If you're so inclined, you can take a little thermometer and do a reading. No peeking. So I think with this one, like, we'll have to see once we cut into it. Now, this roast was a wee bit smaller than the minimal roast, because the minimal roast was a 3-pounder. This was about, oh, just over 2.5 pounds. So it is a smaller roast, though it was pretty thick. Now the reading is in the higher range of medium. I don't think it's probably well done because of how thick it is. It was only in there for about an hour and a half as opposed to the full 2 hours. So we might even need to go as low as an hour with this, but in 20 minutes we will cut it open and we'll see what it looks like on the inside and we'll give it a taste. Hello! The pot roast is done. So let's cut into it and see how it is. I was just discussing with James how I've never had pot roast that's not well done, and to no fault of anyone but my own. This one is going to be a little more than medium, so it's going to be well. I think that's just because we got a smaller roast, and oven temperature times vary and all that good stuff. So even though this one is not pink and medium the way I was hoping it would be, it still smells delicious. It's still the right consistency. You can tell that it's going to be good. I mean, there's a little bit of pink in here. I know it might be a little hard to tell from the camera, but it looks really good. It's tender and it smells really good, and that's usually going to be a good indicator of taste. So let's just see, there's a little bit of pink in there. I'm going to take a little slice here. Definitely pot roast, which is perfect. It's what you want. The slow cooking has tenderized the meat all the way through. It's not too chewy. The flavor is very good, not too salty. And yeah, I mean, it's pot roast. Now, my goal next time, probably not on camera, but my goal next time will be to cook one so that it is actually medium. I don't think pot roast does well. Obviously, rare you don't want because it's a tough cut of meat, and the longer you cook it, the more tender it gets. But what?
The dog just walked by you.
You son of a bitch! It smells really good. Would you like a taste of the middle meat here?
Sure.
See, it's cutting like butter. That's what pot roast tastes like. So that's
good.
awesome.
It's tender.
It's very good. I can tell, and the reason we bought such a small cut is because there's just 2 of us, and obviously we don't have like a family of 4 or more to feed. But from what I recall from pot roast and from what I know about pot roast, it lasts for days after you cook it, and it makes very good next day meals. It's almost better the next day. So
Oh, where's my piece?
you get no pot roast, dog. You get none.
Oh, come on. Give me some.
So I will label this a success. I think it turned out really well, and despite the fact that it's not the pink, the medium that we wanted, it still turned out really well. And I highly recommend a recipe. Just if you get a small one, just cook it an hour and test it, which you're supposed to do with meat anyway. I just kind of wanted to do the default. It's always a safe bet to do the default recipe because there are guidelines and all that crap set up. So I guess that is it from the... Oh, why do I keep looking at you? Because you're there and you're adorable. There you go. I guess that is all from the Cook It Your Damn Self kitchen. Thanks for cooking with us, and we hope to see you next time. Until then, whatever, end catchphrase.